My name is Dr. Raymond Youngblood Jr. I am a international minerals extractor. My primary focus is minerals like precious metals like gold, platinum, palladium, rhodium, things like that. We also do things like diamonds and emeralds, rubies, anything that is in the ground, we will go after it. I've been mining more than 2 decades. And I spend most of my time in some jungle or desert somewhere. Right now, I'm currently in the Amazon. I've been asked to look at these videos, rappers who have gotten scammed, and give my feedback on what I think should happen or need to happen. I have sold to a whole bunch of jewelers over the years, some that are very, very famous. Some still owe me money. Let me just say that everybody that's claiming it is really not doing it. So I apologize. I have to do these recordings very late in the evening. Right now it's about 2 or 3 in the morning, I think, because otherwise the area is too noisy from all the mining activity that's going on here. So forgive me for if there's any background noise or something like that. But let's get down to it. I'm going to watch this video and I'm going to give you my feedback on what I think that these guys should do or should have done as a gold miner. Before we get started, I have to use the word that, these are alleged things. I don't know. I'm just watching the video, giving my feedback. So this is my opinion. So the name of this show, I think that we're going to name it, My Name is Dr. Youngblood, and this is my opinion. So.
Was there a single purchase where you're like, I can't believe I just spent that much money on that? Yeah, or a credit card bill that you got where you're staring at that bill and going like, I can't believe
who got the most money that I wish I could get back? Jacob the jeweler, man. I spent over almost $1 million with Jacob over the years.
So that was The Game. One of the guys I really like listening to. I like all the guys, to be honest with you. It depends on the mood I'm in. He spent $1 million with Jacob. If he spent $1 million with Jacob, it's highly likely that the actual raw minerals themselves, fresh out the ground, even after it's been processed, maybe I would give, it depends on what he was buying. If it's a lot of gold, then just my opinion, that the actual mineral itself, if it came from the miner, was probably less than 50 grand, maybe 50 grand. If it's in gold, it'd be probably no more than 75. I can tell you that for sure. If it's silver and things like that, then he really got. Platinum, palladium can be a little higher, maybe 75, 100,000, maybe that amount. The jewelers are going to maximize the price because they're going to play on your emotions a little bit more. And so that's probably what he ended up spending. So if he spent $1 million, the jeweler definitely didn't spend no more than 300, 400,000 max. And it depends on what he got. I don't know if he's going to share this later in the video, but $1 million. Man, if he came to the miners, we'd have hooked him up.
How many of these watches have these guys sold to people that didn't catch it? Like me or Lil Baby. Lil Baby wouldn't have caught it if he didn't Instagram it.
Right.
If he never Instagrammed it, he'd be sitting there with his $40 watch thinking it's worth $500,000. Isn't it?
That's making a lot of noise, man. That's follows.
Yo, you just never had a lot of chains on top of each other. Any rapper in the game, they wear their chains on top of each other, they're gonna do like that. I'm sorry, it don't matter who it is. That's
not real to you, Envy?
They don't do that. Anybody chains do that.
Sounding real. That depends on the design of the material. Metal makes noise. I mean, it rattles. So I wouldn't worry about that too much.
They had you on that fake watchbusters.com.
Yeah, plenty of times, but right now this is real though.
If there's any genre that has diamonds built into its DNA, it's hip-hop. Since Slick Rick's early days of displaying decadence to the crazy creations that Ghostface used to sport in the dawn of the bling era, jewelry purchases are nothing new in the game. In truth, it's become such an accepted part of the culture that even before an MC has truly accomplished anything, the lure of the Diamond District can be too strong to resist. As Kanye once famously put it on Touch the Sky, I went to Jacob an hour after I got my advance, I just wanted to shine. But while many of us once stared at these larger-than-life figures and assumed that every gram of diamond, platinum, and gold that they'd purchased was as legitimate as they come, the darker underbelly of the jewelry game has gradually made its way to the surface. At one stage, the culture of flossing in hip-hop was previously thought to be on life support when in 2009, the Wall Street Journal posted an expose on how the recession and changes in the music industry had melted rappers' ice and led them to look for cheaper alternatives. A lot of these rappers simply don't have the money for the real stuff anymore, proclaimed Beverly.
Okay, so the issue with that statement is the rappers do have the money for it. The problem is that the material is overpriced, like tremendously overpriced. So if you're trying to sport an image about the jewelry, that's one thing. If you're trying to sport an image from where it came from, that's another thing. So for example, let's say that there's a very famous jeweler and that jeweler name is ABC Jeweler. That jeweler is still it's a middleman, right? So they got to mark the price up. Now, if it's about the material, if it's about the rope, if it's about the gold or the silver or the platinum or palladium, the rhodium, the diamonds, the emeralds, the rubies, then that's what it should be about. Then it shouldn't matter where it came from. But if you have a song, if you're rapping and you're spitting bars, and then that bar is gonna name off a jeweler, then you have to like confirm that you got it from that jeweler. But if you rapping about, and then I still don't understand that one. I don't understand why you're making the jeweler famous when it should be about the metal or the mineral. I mean, that's just my biased opinion as a miner, as an extractor. So I wouldn't rap about the jeweler. I'd be rapping about my metal.
The Hills jeweler Jason Arashimon said at the time, it's to the point where they are wearing imitation jewelry, and that's ridiculous. But as platforms such as YouTube and SoundCloud became star factories and hip-hop ascended to the rank of the world's most popular genre, flexing your diamonds returned with a vengeance, and soon, every rapper with even a regional hit was splashing out on signature pendants, bust-down diamond watches, iced-out grills, and more. And once again, a new generation of impressionable hip-hop lovers took their extravagant purchases and claims of massive spending sprees at face value. But with the rise of social media, these rappers' purchases are under more scrutiny than ever before.
I'm getting on the stone, bro.
I don't think that's fair to the rapper. I don't think that's fair to say that, because the actual gold and the bling and all that, that's a part of their industry. That's part of their culture, their nature. It's like me saying I won't buy a piece of heavy equipment because I like it. I got one bulldozer, but I want a bigger bulldozer, and then somebody's gonna come and say, "Oh, you shouldn't have bought that bulldozer to move more earth." They rap about the jewelry because that's what their life is about. That's one of the aspects of their genre, of their culture, of their particular persona. That's what it's about with them. So I don't think that's fair to them to say that. That's just my opinion.
Where you jewelry from, dog?
Nah, bro, I'm not hung.
And as it has become clear, fakes are littered all over in today's marketplace. In today's landscape, jewelry like a label pendant piece are such important status symbols that there are even fake chains being made to allow struggle rappers to fake a cosign from their favorite crews, such as Lil Baby's 4PF or 21 Savage's Slaughter Gang. But while these fakes were
fake to the rappers, if y'all, I mean, there's a such thing called costume jewelry. Rich people wear costume jewelry. They put the real stuff in a vault, and then when they go out to the public, because somebody can snatch it and run, all right? And some of them don't have no vault because they ain't got real jewelry, so they wearing costume jewelry. So again, this is unfair to the rappers or the artists, in my opinion.
Being sold on sites like eBay or Alibaba, there's a lot of proof that even if you think you're going somewhere trustworthy, things are not always what they seem. And now rappers are becoming more vigilant than ever. Stop buying all this jewelry without knowing what you're doing, Lil Durk warned his fellow artists in September of this year. A lot of this stuff fake, and some is overpriced. Get one jeweler and stick to him. I'm telling you, y'all gonna be when the truth come out. With counterfeits flooding the market.
Get one jeweler and stick to him. I don't know. I mean, what if your jeweler is the one that's putting the fake out there? Or the one that's overpriced? So that means you're gonna get got every single time. I think you should. Let me just listen to more of the video, and I'll kind of give you my spiel at the end. Try not to make this thing too long.
Yet a whole online subculture dedicated to detecting and exposing fakes has sprung up. Most notably, IG account Fake Watchbusters has outed countless famous MCs and athletes for sporting counterfeit goods. Just 3 days after Durkio's warning to upcoming rappers, one of the most infamous examples of a rapper being finessed by jewelers came to light when Lil Baby showed off the 400,000 Patek Philippe watch that he'd worn as a part of his Met Gala fit on Instagram. Fans and Fake Watchbusters alike were quick to tell him that it wasn't the real deal. Within hours, Lil Baby placed Raffaello & Co., the outlet that sold him the timepiece, on blast. Now at Raffaello & Co., y'all know better than to sell me, of all people, a fake or anything that could be called a fake, he wrote on Instagram. I stand on my name the same way y'all should. Ain't no such thing as a mistake when that money get involved. Suddenly faced with bad publicity, the owners issued a statement which claimed that I personally would never knowingly sell him or anyone else anything that is not 100% authentic. I have known Lil Baby for a while and there's nothing fake about him, especially his jewelry and watches. I want to personally apologize to Lil Baby for what has transpired. Raffaello & Co. took immediate action to rectify this. We pride ourselves in being an honest business and will take great care to make sure nothing like this ever happens again. But despite their assurances that this was a one-time oversight, Vlad TV suggested that this wasn't an isolated incident and detailed his own run-ins with R&Co.
Okay, so this again boils down that you trusting that the middleman know what they're doing. So if you got a middleman, and a jeweler is a middleman, all right? A jeweler is the middleman. So the miner extracts the mineral, right? We take these rocks and we're going to take the mineral out this rock. Then that mineral is going to get sold over to somebody who's going to turn it into something like blanks or whatever. So they're going to make whatever from it, whether it's technology that's going to go in these cell phones or a satellite that's floating into outer space or jewelry. In between me and you, the rapper, there's going to be up to 9 middlemen. And each one is going to take their cut or slice on it. So it's just like when they do with the yayo, right? When they take the yayo, by the time it comes out the jungle, from wherever it's being grown or whichever country, and it ends up in the United States or Europe or wherever it ends up, it's going to be cut. They're doing the same thing with the jewelry. They're doing the cut. You don't know any better. And some of the jewelers don't know any better either. So you kind of stuck with that.
Actually had a bad experience with the same company. I had actually traded in a rose gold Hublot King Power watch. You know, we did a deal where I gave him that watch and he gave me a Rolex Presidential in yellow gold. When I went to go get it appraised and looked at, you know, for my insurance and so forth, we come to find out that one of the links on the back of it was rose gold instead of yellow gold. And then we come to find out that the actual, you know, glass on the watch wasn't even Rolex glass. So I had to spend a few $1,000s to get this watch back into its original shape. How many of these watches have these guys sold to people that didn't catch it, like me and Lil Baby? Lil Baby wouldn't have caught it if he didn't Instagram it. Right. If he never Instagrammed it, he'd be sitting there with his $40 watch thinking it's worth $500,000.
Make no mistake, Raffaello & Co. aren't the only culprits here. In fact, when you look at nearly every major outlet that hip-hop has helped popularize, it has been accused of scamming to some degree. Make no mistake.
Okay, so this one, I don't know what to say to you folks about out there with all this colored jewelry. Gold is the color gold. There's no such thing as rose gold. There's no such thing as blue gold. There's no such thing as gold is gold. The color itself is gold, yellow. So how I get rose is that I have to dilute the actual precious metal. The precious metal is gold, right? It's more valuable. So I have to take $2,000 an ounce gold and add $2 a pound copper to give it that rose color. So you're literally taking value out, but you're being sold at 24 karat prices. That's what you're being sold. The marketing part of that, this is very, very genius to me on the jeweler's part. They've managed to take a little bit of gold, a little bit of silver, and mix it with other minerals that are diluted, that dilute the actual mineral, give them more. So I start with this much gold. I take this much gold out and put this much copper in. So I got this much gold to go in another piece. But I only sold you $2 a pound copper. Now, when I sell it to you, I'm selling it to you like this. I'm selling it to you in that gold form. So I don't understand this love for the rose gold and all that. I mean, if you're the consumer are gonna stick with that, then y'all need to start making the jewelers charge the prices according to that. I want to know how much the $2 a pound copper costs and how much gold is in there. And then your jeweler, you know, your jeweling ability to make it. Outside of that, the color gold, the color stuff, all that stuff is killing y'all. I don't understand it. You're getting gypped. My name is Dr. Youngblood, and that's my opinion.
Since the early 2000s, the world of hip-hop and jewelry have been closely intertwined and led a lot of salesmen to have personal relationships with rappers. And while for the famed Jacob the Jeweler, who ended up doing 2 years in prison due to claims that he laundered money for the BMF crew,
one of the things that's attractive about hip-hop to scammers is that they're under the impression that they're not well educated on the topic of whatever they're selling. If it's cars, if it's jewelry, whatever it is, they're just under this impression that these are dumb guys. And we all know that's not true. Even with how intelligent they have to be to even write some of these lyrics and how they make it match up. But all this is just flat out talented. But you're being pinpoint because you want to show they're playing on your emotions. The only other place that I've ever seen where people get played on their emotions more than anything other than in love is at funerals.
it all ended disastrously for the most part. They're making money hand over fist, and in some cases doing it all with products that some claim aren't what they say they are. Among the most famous West Coast jewelers, Ben Baller, the go-to guy for everyone from Kanye to Tyler the Creator and Nas, was accused of being a scammer by DJ Academics. And moreover, Ack claimed he isn't the only one.
While you've preyed on the young black artists who've came up, you've overpriced jewelry by hundreds of thousands of dollars when they could have used that money to feed their family or done other things with it. You've preyed only on rappers. You don't prey on nobody else. You're not over there trying to get the Wall Street. You only prey on African American rappers who just got a big advance check what they think is theirs. Ben Baller is nothing but a scammer, a thief, a liar, someone who is just down to finesse them, and I'll keep using my voice and my platform to let that be known. These jewelers are the biggest scammers. But you know what? There's a lot of people who scam in the hip-hop, so I ain't gonna say nothing until you start talking about me. Once you start talking about me, I'll expose your scam.
Where Ack didn't go into specifics about whether his wares were fake or not.
It's not just the rappers that's being scammed. I know rich people who have gotten got. I know people who they only find out when they try to get it appraised. So because the insurance company take an interest in making sure of that, because they have to be out of the money later when it comes up missing or lost or stolen, whatever the case may be. So it's not just the rappers that people are preying on. But again, I don't think the jewelry part of it needs to be cut down. I think the rappers need to understand what they're getting into, because that's a part of their culture, that's a part of their genre. And if you get the right type of jewelry and the right type of gold from the right people, it is a appreciated value later on. It doesn't have to fall into the depreciated value category like buying a sports car to some degree. Just imagine a Harley Davidson is a 2-cycle engine and it appreciates with value. Why? Because of what's associated with it. So the same thing can happen with the jewelry. You just got to change who you associate it with. I mean, holler at your boy. Shit. Damn, y'all spending a lot of money.
There are other figures in hip-hop who go out of their way to let the world know if what a jeweler is selling isn't what it claims to be. In 2019, Young Thug claimed that Icebox, the famed jewelers in Atlanta, tried to extort him by giving him new pieces without asking for any money, only to later send him a bill in a practice that he called predatory. Despite his prominence in the field, another man whose name is not without controversy is Elliot Eliante, jeweler to Migos and the creator of Lil Uzi's infamous $24 million forehead diamond. Earlier this year, he felt the wrath of Sauce Walka, who claimed that the famous dealer was very much entrenched in the practice of selling CVD diamonds.
Okay, I tried to keep this time down, y'all. I'm going to try to edit it to fix, but I mean, if you want to be educated, don't worry about the time. Take the education. Stop worrying about the time, right? All right. $24 million diamond. It probably came out of the ground. Maybe if it's West Africa, that color, maybe somebody paid $600,000 for it. Maybe $600,000. If it came out the ground somewhere else, I would be generous and give it $1 million. Generous. If I know what I know and was to share to you, and I had to whisper it in your ear, I would tell you that diamond probably didn't come out the ground for somewhere no more than 100,000, maybe 75,000, and it depends on the miners who got it. If they were little bitty guys in a little Rudy Poot operation, ragtag, not really doing it but trying to make it, trying to hustle up, maybe they got 50, 60 grand for that diamond. Stones are the easiest way to get preyed on, because stones is a real sentimental value thing. It's very finicky. Let me say it like that. The other problem with stones is, I don't know how this happened. Some people blame it on the beers or whatever, but the stones have gotten reversed, right? The stones have gotten reversed. And what I mean by that is, it's supposed to be ruby emerald, the colored diamond starting with blue. Then you go into your other colors like your pink and your yellows and so on. And then it go into your white. The white stone, the bling stones, that's your poor man's stone. I mean, go look at some of the old cartoons with the princesses and prince and kings and and emperors and all that. They didn't even wear diamonds, because a diamond belongs to the pilgrims, to the villagers. It's a poor man's stone. It reminded me of a time when I was in DC. And I saw they had crawfish on the menu. I'm from Louisiana, so I ordered crawfish. I said, and the guy was saying, "Oh, that's gonna be." I think he told me like $60 for like 2 or 3 pounds. Like, whoa, bro, $60 for 2 pounds? Come on, man, that's poor man food. I mean, I eat crawfish all day. Why would I pay that? I said, let me just go and take a steak then, because apparently this is a luxury food here in DC, crawfish. But they got to ship it, all that kind of stuff. And the same crawfish from Louisiana, but the fact that they got to ship it, I just wasn't, I don't think so.
Oh no, you did not jump in my diamond business. Eliante, you hot BB diamond scamming artist. That's why the rest of them jewelers be on your carbon vaccinated CBD diamond selling. First of all, let's just make this clear. See, I take off with Quavo and Amiga. I got a relationship with them. They're like my brother. You been on my DM on my stealing my jewelry style for 4 years, and they'll say, don't you play these games. You wanna know why Uzi don't what you wanna know, Lil Baby don't what you, because your diamonds is fake. As soon as they go to another jeweler, they put it in that machine, that X-ray machine, they show you these are CBD diamonds, carbon vaccinated diamonds.
Rather than being alone in the allegations of this practice, Johnny Dang, otherwise known as TV Johnny, has since been dogged by claims that he did exactly the same thing by a former employee. But where most of these claims have come from outside the industry, there is one shadowy figure that's all too happy to let anyone know that's asking in on what goes down in the fake jewelry game. Known as Raheem the Jeweler, he's since made a side hustle for himself, exposing the ins and outs of how much money he makes off fake jewelry, and in one case, which rapper is purchasing it from him.
I've had a couple customers that I really don't want to name for because it can mess with my bread.
So you telling me that this?
I don't know who have it. I know Johnny personally. Johnny and I got some history. Why would you sell out your customer? Don't tell who got fake and who got. You know how the industry works. Why would you? Why would you rap people? Don't do that.
Right here is $1 million business.
Yeah, a little bit more than that. I mean, I will say this, it's already out in the open. My biggest customer last year was Soulja Boy. He bought the presidential with the black face, with the white face. He got the Yacht Master encrusted.
Now, I know I've seen some little clips on Soulja Boy. My daughter, she always tried her hardest to keep me up on some stuff, but let me tell you something. I don't care how exposed the artist is or whoever. If I'm your supplier of gold or diamonds or whatever, and you say, hey, Dr. Youngblood, I only want to buy, I'm saying I'm only going to sell you 24 carats. You say, well, I want it cut down. I'm not going to go, that's nobody business. You don't do that. I don't know who this jeweler are. I don't have no idea, but I know I wouldn't do that. If anybody wants to know what's going on with your jewelry, they got to come to you, not come to me. Because the same way with them, I won't tell nobody what's going on with them. The other reason is, if it's a high grade piece of jewelry, I don't want nobody to come knock you in the head for it or break into your house and come and take it. So it's not anybody's business. You're not supposed to. I mean, that's just, maybe I'm old school like that, but.
With dealers such as Raheem serving up fakes that are undetectable to the untrained eye, the idea of copping fake jewelry has even become a topic of debate among OGs. During a Clubhouse discussion that was hosted by Royster59 and sparked by the news that Chad Ochocinco had purchased fake watches to save money, NY veteran Mayno discussed how the identity crisis that artists feel and the nature of the industry could pressurize them into purchasing fake jewelry. While from Crooked Eye's vantage point, the concept of rappers and athletes making the practice of buying cheaper alternatives known might actually promote good spending habits in those who look up to them.
You know what, Royce? As far as that, it's like, why even buy a replica watch and then say it's fake? Like, you better off not buying it at all, right? But I understand the mentality to feel or look like or have to fit in. Like, I want to act like this is a real Audemars. I want to act like this is a real Patek. And you got the money to do it, but you won't do it. I don't get that. Like, you might as well just go straight bare with nothing. You know what I mean? Go get you a Seiko or something like that.
Do y'all think that energy is transferring to the youth though? Like, if somebody say, yo, I can afford this, you know what I'm saying, but I be wearing fake, I'm wearing replicas, you know what I mean, I'm spending less money. Is there a jewel in there for the youth in any of that energy? Can the youth pull out and say, you know what, maybe a bunch of jewelry?
Okay, so I'm not understanding this conversation. I can say bitch, hoe, F word, all these things, that's transferring it, and you're worrying about a replica watch. I mean, I just blasted you, all this. I mean, if you're not worrying about that, then what's the concern about the part of the stage act? Part of the stage act is the jewelry. So I mean, if you're gonna talk about it, you gotta talk about it in totality. It don't sound fair to the rappers to me that you segment off this one thing. I don't know, maybe that's just me. It don't sound fair to them.
Jewelry ain't what I need to be on right now, because my favorite football player, he just said he ain't even wearing real jewelry.
Considering that nearly every major broker in the game has at least one person claiming that they're pulling the wool over their clients' eyes, it seems like if a rapper of the stature of Lil Baby can get caught out, no one is safe. Whether it's a byproduct of the dangers of being ripped off or not, it's unsurprising that there's a new crop of rappers who've decided that they should no longer value the flashiness of their financial security and shrewder investments. Case in point, the formerly iced out 21 Savage.
One is because everybody wears jewelry. I outgrew it. I'm getting a little wiser and growing. So another reason is because the richest people that I've ever met in my life, they've never had on jewelry. Every time I meet somebody who's very, very rich, like wealthy, I've never seen them with jewelry on. And ever since I've been saving money and not spending it on jewelry, I've been getting way richer.
And he's far from alone either. Recently, when asked about why he doesn't own any Cuban chains.
Okay, well, I will honestly say I don't wear it. I mind it. I don't wear it, but it's just not my thing. But to say that rich people don't wear it, no. It's a lot of rich people that got it. It's a lot of guys that will have on a bracelet or a watch or something like that. Go, if you want to see where the money being spent on jewelry, check out their woman. No, they spending money on it. Trust me on that. Jewelry, of all the gold that's mined in the world, most of it is going towards jewelry. Somebody buying it. But I like his concept. He outgrew it, is what he said. So that's good.
Or they explained that the numbers just don't stack up in the way that many rappers seem to assume.
If you talk with any actual accountant or person that is an expert in finances, they're gonna tell you, okay, how much money you really have to buy $100,000 Cuban to really be able to actually afford it in a knowledgeable and smart way. They're gonna be like, you need to have 30 million. We don't have a 401k. We don't have no retirement plan.
Encouraging as their words are, considering that the culture of showing off, no matter the cost, is still very much
Okay, so the accountant is not the only person you need to speak with, because you have to understand the nature of everybody that's in the profession and what we're trained to do. If you only talk with a geologist, they're only going to talk about looking for minerals, looking. I mean, my geologists all the time, they fight with the mining. The mining engineer want to extract. Geologists want to keep looking. The lawyer don't want, always scared to do everything. The accountants don't want to take a chance on nothing. All right, but if I don't push it and take a chance, I don't get it. Jewelry is a part of y'all industry, so I understand that. And I'm not saying the accountant is wrong. I think the accountant is right. That you have to have, I don't know if to afford $100,000 you need $30 million. That sounded a little bit extreme. I think he was just giving an example. I think the jewelry is always going to be a part of the game, because you have to have stuff to talk about, and jewelry is one of those things. Just the same way, if you want to cut out something, cut out the cars. You don't need 5 or 6 or 7 cars unless they are appreciated type of historical vehicles or whatever. You need to get better with the gold, better with the diamonds, better with the platinum. Understand what you're buying and what you should spend your money on and what carat level. Maybe that's the next thing I'll do, is I'll talk about the carat level next. I think that's what you need to get better at. That's just my opinion as a miner, as somebody who actually mines this jewelry that y'all buy.
Ingrained in hip-hop, you can expect that most rappers will still be flocking to buy what they hope is real jewelry for years to come. So, as long as staying iced out remains as much of a priority for MCs as it ever was, you can bet that unless they take the time to root out the shadier dealers once and for all, we'll be seeing more scandals over fake watches and CVD diamonds in the years to come.
Give a quick shout out to Hip Hop Madness, the person whose video that I was asked to take a look at and give some thoughts on. A shout out to them. And I think he did a really good job with that. Whoever did that video, I don't know if the voice is the person, but whoever did that video, I think did a pretty good job of explaining it from the hip. I understood it to a degree to give some opinion on what I thought from the extraction standpoint. So, Hip Hop Madness. Overall, hip hop, I got probably about 15 more videos that people sent me. So I'm going to try to get them out there a little bit at a time. And I'm going to give my perspective on it. I'm trying to keep everything short, because the attention span of people. But again, if it's education and you're getting something out of it, stop caring about the time. Stop asking people to bullet point everything. That's why everybody getting scammed and cheated. Stop asking everybody to bullet point it down. Sometimes it takes 30 minutes, 40 minutes to explain something. So how is it I got 20 years of knowledge and you want me to give it all to you in 15 minutes? Come on, be realistic. Shit. You're buying 10, 12, 14 karat jewelry and you're not paying attention to that, but you're paying 24 karat prices. The other one where the money is being lost, a lot of diamonds and things are not fake. They're just low in quality. And you're buying it because you don't know any better. You can probably cut 70, 80% of the loss by understanding carats and understanding the value in those, more so than trying to worry about the fake. People who are buying fake is going to buy fake. There's nothing you can do about that. Everybody wears costume jewelry. Rich people wear costume jewelry. Every movie you see when people are entertaining, they are not wearing real diamonds. If it's a movie about the Hope Diamond, you think the real Hope Diamond is in that movie? It's not. It's a fake. So everything is pushing this fake culture. So I wouldn't worry about that too much. If I was you, I would spend more time concerned about the carats, concerned about the quality of it, that kind of thing. I wouldn't try to stick with one jeweler, because if you got a bad jeweler, you're going to always get screwed over. So the other thing about the jewelry that I think that's important is I'm going to do more. Let me just say I'm going to do more videos. As a person who came up with hip hop, one of the, original Generation Xers who started with hip hop. I think that's important. The other thing I want to do is I don't want the rappers to stop buying jewelry. I just want the rappers to get smarter. I want the entertainers to get smarter how they buy jewelry and who they buying it from and where they buying it and how. So if you gotta reach out to me, I got a lot of celebrities that I talk to. So if you gotta reach out to me as a gold miner and say, hey Doc, I want you to, tell me what you think about this. It ain't gotta be, we ain't gotta be friends and all that. You ain't gotta give me all your time. I know your time is busy, but I want y'all to be smarter about it. I want you to get better with how you're buying, where you're buying, what you're buying, you know, who you buying from. I don't know all these folks. I just know a few names, and those who know, I know. And then sometimes you can use somebody like myself to say, I want to buy this. Let me take a picture. I'm going to send it to Dr. Youngblood. Who is Dr. Youngblood? Oh, he's the gold miner. You know, the guy that made the show, the Gold Rush show, or whatever. So you can say, if you want to be smart with your jewelry, you're going to have to come to understand metals a little bit better in the process of carats and the process of how they're formed and where the value lies in each one of these metals and what metal should be brought together to give you better value. Rose gold got $2 a pound copper. Think about that. So that pretty color that you liking, that rustic looking color, that's gold is not that color. Platinum is not that color. Silver is not that color. Rhodium is not that color. Palladium is not that color. Rhodium, Israel, Osmium, they're not that color. So if they're not that color, how are you getting red? How is it rose? Cheap copper. The last thing I will end this video with is call your insurance company and tell them what you're looking to purchase and get an appraisal value on it, a replacement value on it, you know, and ask, will this appreciate, you know, with this type of carats and quality and so on and so forth. So the jeweler shouldn't have any problem with you doing it if they all about what they got. I mean, if they believe in their product, you know, they should allow you to take pictures of it and send it over, or, you know, that kind of thing. And once that jeweler builds a relationship with your insurer, it becomes easier, especially if you're going to do that. I don't think you should stop buying jewelry, not because I mine the minerals. The minerals is I can sell them. That's not going to be the issue for a miner. I think you should not buy. I think you should buy better stuff, because this is one thing of all the things that appreciate on the planet. You know, minerals is one of those things that always appreciate, especially in its rarest and most purest form, like 24 karat something. So my next video, I think I will do that to try to educate you guys on the carats. My name is Dr. Youngblood, and this is my opinion.